The Hero's Journey Monomyth. The Hero's Journey is a popular personal growth tool deploying the monomyth. It's a powerful guide or stencil of an extensive grouping of myths and legends that comprise a hero who goes on an adventure and in a definitive crisis accomplishes a great victory and then returns home transformed or awakened. In today's world, heroes are ordinary people from all walks of life who answer the call to adventure in following our bliss on how we choose to earn our living. This post is a celebration of the journey as we leave the ordinary world and journey into the unknown special world of pure potential and outgrowing deep fears in the form of limiting beliefs and unconscious programming. Let's explore what it means to walk the hero's journey monomyth in 2018. The 12 stages of the hero's journey. 1. The ordinary world. This is where we all start and where the vast majority of us stay until the day we die. It's our safe zone amongst the herd, a primarily unconscious internal state as well as an external environment. Dominated by the need to fit in and imprisoned by the status quo's limiting series of little picture beliefs, expectations and identifications, we yearn to fit into the herd program. Everything seems normal and safe, and yet fear grips us at every thought, word and deed as we compete to further imprison ourselves through those limiting beliefs, expectations, identifications and programming. 2. The call to adventure. The call to adventure takes many forms and is different for each of us. It usually threatens our safe zone within the unconscious herd. It may be a moment of awareness, illuminating what we kept hidden deep inside the shadows of our unconscious. It may come in the form of an abrupt and violent break in a lifelong pattern. It may also eventuate in the form of a crisis that forces new insight and higher perception. Maybe we've been working a job all our lives that does not fulfill us, and due to this call to adventure, we toy with the prospect of cutting our own path, doing what we truly love, following our bliss to earn our living. So we ask ourselves the question, can it be done? Not just this, but in a much deeper sense, can I do it? These questions trigger a chain reaction of further explorations. Why am I living such a meaningless existence? What's the meaning of all of this? Is this all there is? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? All the while, the shift from certainty to uncertainty picks up momentum as we dare to imagine a life following our bliss. 3. Refusal of the call. Yet once we evolve from toying with the idea to actually taking that step out of the safe zone, the inevitable happens. We become filled with the fear of the unknown. We become consumed with doubt. A lifetime of safety in the pattern and programming of unconscious cruise control won't be outgrown on a whim. We're overwhelmed with what's required of us. Members of the herd tell us how crazy we are. You'll never make it out there on your own. So we back off. We refuse the call to adventure. However, once a minuscule beam of awareness illuminates the unconscious, one can never go back. The call then comes back, this time but stronger. The company we've been working for all our life closes down and we're out of work during an employment crisis. Continue to refuse the call in whatever form it takes, and it will keep escalating as the larger consciousness system becomes more obvious in its calling to us. 4. Meeting the mentor. Then, as synchronicity would have it, the mentor figure appears from what seems as nowhere. In 2018, this is much more likely to occur on YouTube than in the forest. In saying that, there really is something about those white beards. The mentor provides us with the key to outgrow our fears, doubts, and opinions of others. This key may be wisdom, a special talk, books, YouTube videos, a meeting, or all of the above. The mentor speaks the insight needed to look within for the answers to what's holding us back. Why are we refusing the call to adventure? What are we afraid of? The mentor can only show the way, and show the way they do. This leads to a door that resides on the very outskirts of the safe zone. On the other side of the door is the beginning of uncertainty and the unknown. It marks the beginning of the hero's journey, Monomyth, and for many of us, this is the beginning of a new life in an awakened conscious state following our bliss. 5. Crossing the threshold. As we step through the doorway of the unknown and take our first step into the great uncertainty, we begin our journey. There is no turning back now. It matters not if we willingly chose this path or if it was forced upon us due to consistent refusal of the call. Here we are. We have now joined the ranks of the heroes, leaving the safe turf of the many and mundane to journey on the path of the few. With open eyes, an open heart, and love for the whole game of life, we lift our aim higher as we depart from the old patterns and embrace the creative potential of inner anarchy. If it's to be, it's up to me. 6. Tests, allies, and enemies. Now far away from our safe zone, we are met with the challenges we have never faced before. Where there was structure, form, supervision, instruction, and routine, now there is nothing but potential within the realm of chaos. Things are not what they seem. Strangers are befriended and enemies are discovered. Those we thought were friends are unmasked. We are betrayed, taken advantage of, lied to, and manipulated. We are used, promised the world, and then left alone to the side. Yet slowly, we start to forge strong alliances as our heart of love takes the lead and our intellect takes its place as the loyal servant to our heart. Here we understand the meaning of unconditional and thus rise above exclusive self-gain and the desperate clutch of the ego. In doing so, we attract and manifest a network of connections plugged into the illuminating awareness of consciousness, bigger picture players who live by cooperation and die by cooperation, a higher calling than competitive self-interest. Lessons are learnt by direct experience with an open but skeptical mind. Newfound wisdom brings a deeper insight as our mission is uncovered. 7. Approach to the inmost cave. We've come far and have learnt new skills, most important of all, to live in a sustainable fashion in the face of uncertainty, to create our own opportunity by cutting our own path where there was only jungle. As we approach the inmost cave, the fears, doubts, and opinions of others that imprisoned us rise up again, but this time in accordance to our own growth. Have the old patterns really been broken? After all, it really is easier to blame others. This journey has required deep inner hustle and introspection. We have become creators instead of takers. We have learnt from experience to serve others without conditions, as we're present with them in the moment. Through this authentic service, we stay free and independent to follow our bliss further and to keep lifting our aim higher than that of mere personal gain. The bar is now being lifted to great heights, and we know the dragon awaits in the inmost cave. The dragon of our deepest fears, testing us to our core and bringing the greatest pressures and temptations to bear down on us without mercy should we stray from our heart of love. It's all on the line now as we prepare to enter the next level. 8. Ordeal. This is where all our resources are required to go to the next level. An all or nothing move that will take us and test us like nothing before. The dragon deploys its greatest weapons. Stripped of our cash flow, we are faced with a situation where we may be stripped of our material comforts, status, and our courage questioned in the face of such incredible odds. We may lose our house, cars, life savings, dear friends, and most terrifying of all, our very illusion of control itself. As this illusion is torn apart by the dragon in life and death battle, all our attachments are stripped away from us. All the things we identified ourselves as being are burnt away in the roaring inferno that is the dragon's breath. Without all these illusions, who are we now? The dragon makes eye contact with us. From the depths of our very soul, he speaks to us in an ancient telepathic language, long forgotten to us. You came all this way to be stripped of everything? You should have stayed back in the safe zone with the herd back in Kansas. Now with nothing, who are you? What are you? And what business do you have thinking you can outgrow me? Starved of resources, bills piling up on the kitchen bench, car repossessed, banks calling all day long on the phone, no status, no titles, no hangers-on, fridge half empty, phones disconnected, and a partner and kids to hold together as the dragon summons the full force of fear, doubt, and the illusion of control. The breaking point arrives with an almighty primordial roar. We start to crack apart from the inside. Everything starts to go dark as we sink into the oblivion of the abyss. 9. Reward. Seizing the sword. And in that moment, the entire illusion that we have any semblance of control in this game of life snaps apart in an explosion of illumination and consciousness. Fear and uncertainty become our friends as we make peace with the 3D virtual reality we're in. This is not happening to us, it's happening for us. We are not victims, we're creators. I am not my fears and any of the things you have stripped of me, dragon, for that was all part of my illusion, so you have done me the ultimate favor. In reducing me and in diminishing me, what is left is the concentrated life force itself, the raw human spirit. You have destroyed yourself, because from here I rise from pure heart intent. My connection to the big picture is without doubt and open again. I remember the way now. The dragon reels back in horror as we seize the sword of eternal love and flash it into his eyes, shining the light of awareness into his heart, and at that moment he bows his head in obedient submission, offering his treasure to us. That treasure is the know-how to follow our bliss and earn our living on our own terms, doing what we love and helping others to do the same. The treasure also contains acceptance of others, the non-judgment robe, and the unconditional love scrolls, all to be deployed authentically in the service of the heart, in business, family, friendship, and everywhere else. Those things are the key to success. The coordinates to aim for a higher goal, a collective goal. We are changed forever with such direct experience, knowledge and love. There is another way. It is possible, and others need to know, need to experience, need to love. So we must return back to the herd in the safe zone, for this itself is the higher goal. 10. The road back. The road back is the reverse of the initial call to adventure, where the journey begins with a reluctance to leave the safety of the herd. Now this is the last place we want to go back to, for we are free of all of that. Yet we accept that we have elevated beyond mere self-gain, and our mission is back in the safety of the zone with the herd. In due course, when we are called again, we may serve other heroes as a mentor, the way in which our mentor helped us take the initial step away from the safe zone and into the unknown. 11. Resurrection. As we journey back on the road, we come across those who are beginning their hero's journey, and we realize all the old patterns that have died inside us. The illusion of control has also died. All that grasping, identifying, and attachment is all dead. That person has perished. Our self-worth is no longer measured by anything outside of our own capacity to occupy a loving space in that moment. We are self-created now, in the light of inner anarchy. No form, no rules, no pre-built road to follow. We are the form, the rules, and the road, all created in the moment as we step. illuminated by our hero's heart. There are others like us who serve the greater picture, some still in the early days of such a calling like us, and others well worn with the grace and inner light of truly immense beings, their capacity to love almost inhuman. There will be new challenges awaiting in the safe zone, however. 12. Return with the elixir. So as we step through the door at the outer fringe of the safe zone, a changed being, we bring back with us the way of freedom, the twofold way of inner hustle and outer hustle, the way of the heart in unconditional service to all heroes, for we are all heroes. We start off our journey as just a person. Then we shed all of the trappings and are tested to our core, where we realize we are so much more than just a person. We're eternal heroes having a temporary experience in the safe zone with others. And all this journeying to come to the realization that we're just a person in the end. There for other people who are ready to answer the call. And so it goes until it's time to go again, for there are no podiums, just new starting lines. My name is Michael Pinella from The Awakening Point, and I hope you enjoyed this blog post as much as I've enjoyed creating it. My thanks go to Joseph Campbell as well as Dan Bronzite for inspiring this post. Trace and I want to thank you for popping by to share this time with us. And if we can ever be of assistance to you, you guys know where to find us. With love and courage, Mike and Trace.